It's not wrong to talk to somebody on the phone just to maintain friendships, relationships, talk to grandma, whatever it is. But in our house, we live in Indiana, and our family's in Connecticut, and guess what? If when grandma calls and wants to talk to each child, it's a half hour a child. That's 5 children that are talking on the phone for a half hour. It's 2.5 hours of conversation that totally messes the rest of the day. So guess what? We call back at our convenience. The phone does not get answered in our house. So that's a priority that we've made. Why? We have other things that need to be accomplished. We'll call back later at a convenient time. Chances are after dinner, when it's more flexible time. So those are some things that you can use, some tools that'll help with maintaining not rigidness, but functionality. Because it's very easy to get caught up in some of those distractions. But when you do a time log and just jot everything in 15 to 30-minute increments, you will see that you spend a lot of time on things that are really unproductive time. And I hate to scare you to think that every moment should be productive, but the reality is we should be relatively productive. Think of how busy life is. But it is productive time to sit down and read a book and relax once in a while. We need that too. It is definitely productive time to spend time in the Word and in prayer and doing devotions. That's productive time, and it's downtime. It's productive time to throw the ball with your boys. That is family and relationship building thing. That is productive time. So you have to think that it's not all just run, work, work. But you have to think about what your priorities are. Relationship building is a priority. Whether it's your marriage or with your children. That's a serious priority that you can't neglect. Okay? Understand? So it's not just work, but you should understand what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish and not neglect the more important things for the less important things. Okay? Okay. And obviously, just a caveat, I mentioned this earlier, stay flexible, because, I have to always ask the question, I've been asked lots of tough questions. I've done a lot of ministry in tough areas, and people ask me some very tough questions, and the answer is always the same. What brings God the most glory? It's always the correct answer. What do I do, this or that? Well, what brings God the most glory? It's always the correct answer every time. It's kind of funny. And sometimes you don't like that answer. It's like, somebody is really hurt, there's something, a real need, do I tend to that and neglect this? Even though my best intentions were to accomplish this, well, what would God want me to do? That's always the correct answer. Okay. What I'm going to do is get through scheduling. I'm going to get through budgeting, and then we're just going to open up, and I'll be able to answer questions and do that because it's relatively. Actually, I don't have a lot of time, so we started a little late. But okay, so some tools that you can use. Okay, planners, calendars, to-do lists, reminders, sticky notes, chore charts. There's many different tools that you can use. It starts from a basic calendar and to be able to list what needs to be done on specific days. But then a to-do list is a very productive tool, listing all the things you want to do in a specific time slot. These are all different tools you can use. Now, I've always used project management software, but the average household doesn't have that. But setting up planners with different days, and definitely, Cindy uses planners for homeschooling to track each activity that they're doing for reporting purposes, to understand what's being accomplished and to track, their progress, the children. So there's many different tools that you want to use. And why do you use them? Because we can't remember what the heck we're doing all the time. So it's really important to be able to track what we're doing, and collaboration so that we can share information with other people. So you want to know, you want to know what mom's doing on Tuesday, so it's written down somewhere. That's why you put it on a calendar, because we know. In our house, people ask, can we come over and whatever? I'm like, ask Cindy. She is the social coordinator. I have no idea. She knows my availability better than I do. So we're trying to schedule on communication so that more than one person can know what's going on. Automation so that you can have, I like email reminders. That's what I use. I'm on the computer all the time. So when I have a schedule and an appointment, boom, it pops up, gives me a reminder. It's kind of nice. And that's for fail-safes, to have a fallback, in case you forget something or something important. Okay. Some practical considerations with scheduling. It's the whole concept of the law of the Spirit. So your schedule does not become an idol. It does not become the thing that dictates you. It's something that you use as a tool so that you can be more effective for God. You understand? So that you don't become enslaved to that, so that you cannot do other things. Because Schedules can relieve you from guilt, and they can give you guilt. One or the other. And the same person could look at a schedule and say, oh, I'm not getting it all done, and then they're guilt-ridden. And then another person can look at the schedule, or you can look at the schedule on the same day and say, well, I don't have to get to that because it's not part of my schedule. So it gives you freedom. Because I know the chair's broken, but it's not work night. I'll fix it on Tuesday night. On Monday you're not worried about it. You just set it aside for now. Or you didn't get to, they just tracked dirt in the room. It's like, but no, I'm not getting to the living room floor until tomorrow morning. It can wait. It will be gotten to. You understand? So it can give you freedom and it can give you bondage either way. Because then you're like, the floor's dirty and I have to look at it for one more day. And I'm like, I just want to go clean it. Except I got to tend to this. So you have to, you have to be at peace with it. And ultimately it wants to give you total freedom. Because if you develop routines, like Cindy doesn't map what she's doing when exactly. She'll just say housework for a block of time in the afternoon. And then she'll have housework the next morning for a little block of time. And so she doesn't know. And in her head she knows, well, I dusted last week, so this week it's, you know what I'm saying? So because she doesn't dust every week. It's every other week for dusting. So there's something else that she mixed with it. And some other practical things is if your productive time is in the morning, if you're a morning person, then do activities that require your productive time in the morning. And if your downtime's in the afternoon, like Cindy will do bill payment and stuff like that, the afternoon lull, or even when the kids are napping. So you map around those things too. Yeah. By the way, kids napping is an optimal time to get stuff done. You always want to take that advantage of that and nap yourself. It's like, no, it's actually it's the easiest time that you don't have children grabbing your feet, and kind of not allowing you to be free for an extended period of time. So if kids are down for a couple hours, then that's freedom to do some things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Practical considerations. Okay. You always want to be flexible and always, what does the Lord want you to be doing? And integration of multitasking. I talked a little about that already because it's important to consider, and sometimes it takes creativity. It takes talking to other people, finding out how they do things like that, to find out how they can get it all done with the same amount of time as you. And I find that people are always shocked when we tell people how much we have on our plate as a family. And they're like, how do you do it all? I'm like, well, honestly, we integrate most of what we do. We don't separate things out, And so it's really productive time. My boys and I have gone out for evangelism every Saturday morning. When we're going to start going out again as soon as the weather clears up. In the winter, we don't go out. But we ride bikes. Me and my boys riding bike. That's really productive time. Guess what? We're having good conversation. But it's also, we're expanding the kingdom. We're doing evangelism. And I'm training them. I'm discipling them on evangelism. So there's like 3 birds, 1 stone right there. And everything Cindy does out of the house, she always integrates school. It's always part of it. So I had to go to Louisville last week to record some spots. I'm the keynote at the Czech convention there. And I brought my boys with me. They did their school the whole time. They were in the videos too, actually. So it's pretty funny. They weren't supposed to be. They were props in the back playing on the playscape. But anyway, so we still got school done. But I was with my boys for extended periods of time, really productive time. So it was good. So again, multitasking. So you're looking for those opportunities to integrate different aspects of your life to be able to multitask. That's why, if at all possible, family businesses are really good. Because you can integrate family and work. You have to earn, you have to make a living. You have to earn income. That's vital. Well, my family, we're moving to Kenya soon. We're moving to Kenya in a few months. We're definitely integrating family. We're integrating business, and we're integrating ministry. It's all one big happy thing. Is it challenging? Is it demanding? Well, guess what? You think you don't have time? Try washing your laundry in a little pot without running water and electricity. That's what we're going to be doing soon. So pray for us. So anyway, the other thing you want to look at is you look at some of the logistical things. Seasons in life. Okay? When you have a baby, family member dies, sickness, everybody gets cold, of course. In our family, they go with one person, another. We're down for 2 weeks because there's so many people. But those are seasons that you can let something slide a little. And it's good to build up to seasons. When we know there's another child coming, we ramp up so that we can